Okay, good morning, colleagues. I think we can start with this new Q&A clinics for PMS. Before we start with the questions, I would like to share some information as always. So the agenda, we have changed a bit the format that we are doing this Q&A. So we want to give you a bit of, as always, some information of the upcoming events and documents that we have released. We also want to give you a bit of an overview of the known issues that we have, and then we will jump to the Q&A session. So as always, this session is going to be recorded. We will make it available in our YouTube channel and also in the event web page. We are going to use a Slido to reply to your questions, or so I mean, it's the way that you can submit your questions. The interaction via Slido is voluntary, and you may opt to remain anonymous. But if you choose to use a Slido, then you are giving us your consent to the processing of your personal data, as it is stated in the data protection notice for a Slido that we have. So for the upcoming events, today we have the PMS Q&A clinics. The next one is going to happen on the 18th of December. Then we have another Q&A clinic on SO and R. So it's happening on the 15th of December. This afternoon, we have the Q&A clinic for XCVMPD, and the next one is going to take place also on the 18th of December. We already planned the SPOR and XCVMPD status update that we use quarterly. So the next one is going to happen on the 28th of January. The event page is already available if you want to register. So some information of the documents that we have already released in the last months. So we have released chapter 1. What is new in this case is that we have divided the document into two. The first one is for the registration for the production environment. So everything that has to do with production, API, UI, etc., is included in this document. And then we have created another document for the PMS UAT for the API, how to register in case you need to get access to the API in the UAT environment. So these are the news that we have on chapter 1. We also updated chapter 3. We have included some information or more accurate information on the MBO section because there were a couple of questions. So we have tried to align and provide additional information there. In relation to the PMS Write API, what we have done is we have replaced this zip file that we had by an external web page. So it is easier to maintain. It is also easier to access. So here you have the link. If you go also to the PMS web page, you have the link there. And this is the change that we've made on the implementation guide for the Write PMS API. And then, as usually, we have updated the FAQ document for PMS. We have updated with the known issues that have been solved so far this quarter and some information on the next known issues that will be solved. In order to talk about the known issues that we have, what we have solved and what will be solved, we have these two slides to try to give you a bit of information on the latest general issues that we have fixed. So first of all, we have already fixed an issue that we had with the comparator field. So in XCVMPD, you know that when you submit a strength, you need to say, I don't know, ibuprofen equal to or lower than, or it's a range between this and this. This field, this equal to, more than, was missing in some of the products. We have fixed this issue, and you can have, I think here I have an example. Yeah. So this equal to now will appear on the pharmaceutical product in the product UI. If it does not appear, then what you can do is submit a normal update to XCVMPD to one of the EV codes of this product, and it will be reflected. Otherwise, with the normal life cycle of the products in XCVMPD, this value will be appearing. What we have also done is solve the issue on the units of measurement and units of presentations of the strength. So the same as in this case, sometimes you used to see 20 per 1, and now it will be solved to, in this case, will be 20 milligrams per 1 sachet, for example. In this case, we are planning to do a data fix in the future, maybe next year, beginning of next year, but also with the normal updates on XMPD, the life cycle of XMPD will update the system, and we will be tracking this information. We also had an issue with the MA numbers that were captured at product level, even if there were different MA numbers per pack size. So you know that as explained in chapter 2, if you have multiple pack sizes with different MA numbers, then the MA number at product level should be missing. It should be blank. That was not happening all the times, so we have fixed this issue. And again, with the normal updates on XMPD, it will be solved. If not, you can also submit a dummy update to one of the EV codes of the product, and the MA number at product level will disappear. And last but not least, the units of presentation in the pharmaceutical product, it was missing sometimes. So if in the UI you have here the pharmaceutical product and you have the administrable dose form, the unit of presentation was missing. We have also fixed this issue. So with the normal updates to XMPD, to these EV codes, this data will be fixed and it will appear in the product UI. Okay, so this is mainly the latest general issues that we have fixed. As you can see, for some of them we will do a data fix and we will solve. We will include this data for all the products. For others, just the normal life cycle of the data will include this information, so you don't really need to worry about that. Now, which are the next general issues that we want to fix? So first of all is the issue regarding the packaged medicinal product that has been transferred in XMPD. You know that sometimes the transferred packages, you cannot see them or you cannot find them in the product UI. You can only see one package. This is because all the EV codes are included into the same package in PMS. What we will be doing is splitting and creating all these new packages in PMS. This will happen ideally before the end of the year, if not by beginning of next year. This information is included in the FAQ document. What we will also do is, in some cases, there are real duplicates that are merged in PMS. So all the data in XMPD is the same, but in reality, these are two different products. What we have done is include the procedure type as one of the grouping elements in PMS. So if you have the same data in XMPD for two EV codes, but one is a national procedure and the other one is an MRP, these products will be splitted. Okay, they will belong to different medicinal products. This is something that we are also planning to do before the end of the year, beginning of next year. And then the focus of next year is to remove the duplicates EV codes that we have in different products or inside the same product. Sometimes you have raised a ticket, oh, I have this EV code is duplicated, or duplicated products. So it's just different EV codes that should belong to the same medicinal product, but in PMS we have two different medicinal products with the same data. This is what we consider duplicate products. We are already investigating the root cause, and one of the main goals or objectives that we have for next quarter, so for Q1 2026, is to get rid of all these duplicates and have the correct amount of products and the correct structure for the products. So if while you are doing your review of the products, you see some of these three issues, please don't open tickets because we cannot do anything with those. We will just close them. we will notify the users when this is fixed, and then you will be able to see your products and make sure that it is correct. And only then you can open a ticket if the issue has not been fixed. Okay, the same for these issues that we have fixed. It would help us a lot if you have open tickets for any of those cases. If you can maybe send an update to XCVMPD or just check if the data is there. If the issue is solved, if you close the ticket, that would help us a lot to clean the backlog of tickets that we have. Then with this is the QRD. We have not put it before because we wanted you to focus on the explanation for these known issues. But here you have the QR code for Slido and also the hashtag. We also checked the survey that we sent last time. We asked you to fill the survey. And we are going to change a bit. So usually we go through the most upvoted questions. Now we will go through questions as they come. We will try this time because we received this feedback that sometimes questions are not addressed because they are not upvoted. So we will try today to reply the questions as they come. So I think, Vivian, you might be sharing a Slido.
Okay. Exactly. I will start sharing the Slido. Perfect.
Close here.
Go. So you should start. You should see my screen in a second. Okay. Hopefully you can see my screen.
Not yet.
Okay, I think it's just. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Good now. Okay, perfect. Yes. So as mentioned by Marcos, we will just go in chronological order, which is a different, of course, approach to what we did previously. So I'll start with the first question. Could EMA please ensure that PMS is enhanced with the functionality to limit the visibility of products to groups? Current concept of full portfolio visibility to all users creates problems when working with consultants.
So we will take the feedback. Implementing this is not easy. So we need to do some analysis and design of how the system would look like and how the system would behave, which are the roles that we need to create, etc. So it's not really something that we can do from one quarter to another. And then we need to prioritize it. We will also discuss with the SMEs, but to be honest, it's not the first time that we hear about that. So I think there is a need to at least have a discussion. We will discuss it with the SMEs and we will take it into account. But as I said, it's not something that you will have tomorrow because it takes time to implement such a big change.
Okay, perfect. So moving on to the next question. We have seen nullified records are appearing in PMS. Do we need to log tickets for it?
So it depends where. If it appears in the API, that is correct, because in the API you will see everything. You just need to check the status of this record, and you can see the status nullified. If it's in the product UI, also it depends where. If it's on the read page, so you just open a product and you see a package or a product that should be nullified, then you need to open a ticket because there is a filter to not show products or packages that are nullified. If it's while you are creating a change request, so you are enriching a product and all of a sudden you see a nullified package, that is a bug that will be fixed. We are doing the test now. It will be released in production next week. So there's no really need to open a ticket because that should be fixed by next week. So yeah, depending on the case, you might need to open a ticket or not.
So next question. When reviewing all ATC codes report for critical PDTS, it shows our entire portfolio is critical except 3 PDTS, which is incorrect. Could you clarify logic used to generate this report as they are not providing meaningful insight?
Yeah, so it's for these critical products. There was an issue during a couple of days with this ATC code report. The team has been reviewing it, and it seems that now should be correct again. But yeah, you are right. There was an issue with it, but in principle, it should be fixed. If you still have the issue, then you need to open a ticket not for PMS, but for the product UI. So you need to select the PLM portal and then inside the PLM portal, the product UI when you open a ticket. So it goes directly to them and they will be able to have a look.
So next question. Why so many updates done by XCV MPD is not reflected in PMS?
So I would not say that because in fact we have access to how many updates are being submitted to XMPD and how many of them are not processed because there is an issue with the product or yeah, for some reasons some XCV are not submitted to PMS and the numbers are not high at all. It might happen that, I don't know, some of your products are impacted by this, but there's no specific reason. So in also, I would need to understand which is the update that is not being processed. So the best way to do it is opening a ticket in this case. If you've seen that some changes have not been propagated to PMS or the updates have not been reached PMS, then I would propose you to open a ticket so we can analyze why this is happening.
I think if the colleague wants to, of course, share more information in the Q&A, then of course they're more than welcome to do so as well. Okay, perfect. So next question, can you please share a timeline for the expected action for MAHs for the next 6 months?
Yep. So the main task that you have is to submit, if you have not done it already, submit the packages for the critical products in XMPD. Once you've done that, ideally you should focus on reviewing that those packages and these products are correct in PMS and then enrich them with the manufacturers and the manufacturing business operations and the structured pack size data. These are, I would say, the main activities that you need to do in the next 6 months. I would focus on the critical products because, let's say, these are the ones that are in a scope right now. What you can also do is, for example, if you are planning to do variations and use the web-based variation form, you can also review these products in PMS. So that would be my advice, maybe for MA holders. If you have time to review your whole portfolio, then go for it. But if you don't have the capacity or the resources, then focus on the most important products, so critical and the ones that you will use for upcoming variations.
Perfect. Moving on to the next question. So, what challenges is EMA facing in integrating data and PMS PYs as match and merge is not functioning, due to which data is keeping on changing from unique to multiple PMS IDs, even though we have not changed grouping elements?
So I think that is maybe related to the fact that during the initial migration, we migrated a product with we migrated the AV codes, and now that you are submitting the pack sizes, some of them might be generating new IDs. this is related to this bug on duplicated products. So what we have found is that in XCVMPD, that's a bit technical, but in XCVMPD, when the strength was submitted during the initial migration, so 2 years ago, a year ago, we captured this strength with multiple zeros. So if it was 50 milligrams, we captured it with 50 dot 0000. Now, when you are submitting the new packages with the same information as the previous EV code, then we are just getting 50 milligrams without the zeros. So the system is interpreting this as a new strength, and that's why we are creating this new product and we are not able to match and merge. We are going to fix this issue, and that will allow us to have the same information and be able to match and merge correctly products in PMS. So this is the main issue that we are facing when we need to group products belonging to the same medicinal product. And it's not in all the products, it was only in some of them. So that's why not all your products are impacted, only some of them are impacted. So we need to do this analysis.
Next question. Is there any action required at this time for ABHs of CAPS aside from review and update of the migrated data in PMS?
No, not really. For CAPS, you don't need to do anything. Just review that the data is correct. The manufacturers and the business operations are also correct. And I would also suggest, because some of them, so in some CAPS, you don't find the EV codes. That is because the match and merge was not possible. So if this is the case, I'm planning to do something next quarter, so you can just wait. But yeah, you should also have EV codes linked to the CAPS, but nothing else. If everything is correct, then you don't need to do anything with the CAPS.
Perfect. So next question. Okay, so why are products linked to inactive OMS? Tickets open since September with no answer.
So it is linked to OMS because to an inactive location in OMS, because most likely the organization EV code is also linked to an inactive location in OMS. And as long as it's correct, so this is the correct organization, it's not an issue. So maybe I can explain how it works. If in XCVMPD, you need to submit your record with an MA holder that is linked to an org EV code. This org EV code is mapped to a location in OMS. So when we migrate the data from XCVMPD to PMS, we see, okay, which is the organization EV code for this record, to which location it is mapped, and this location is the one that will go to PMS. Now, is this mapping correct? You can tell us. If it's not correct, then the mapping should be changed, but then we need to perform a data fix in PMS, because just because we change the mapping between XCVMPD and OMS, that doesn't change anything in PMS. We need to we need to do a data fix. But that's the reason why products might be linked to inactive organizations, because the mapping is done to an inactive organization. If it's not correct, we need to do all this process, change the mapping in OMS, and then do a data fix in PMS. One thing, as long as the organization is the correct one, so an organization in OMS has multiple locations, one of them is inactive. We've been told by EAF that this will not block any procedure, because at the end, the NCA will look at the name of the company and it shouldn't be any blocker. So you can still use your products in variations, etc. We will get to this ticket from September. It's only from 2 months ago. We still have tickets a bit older, and we are trying to close those before. before we get into the ones a bit more recent.
Okay, perfect. Moving on to the next question. Okay, so regarding manufacturer enrichment, for the level of granularity relative to the site added with a variation, so no, not in the MAA EIF, should I refer to the terms in the dossier section, right? So page 31, section 21.
Yeah, so you need to yeah, so if it's with a variation, then either the one submitted with the variation form, or also if you have the information in 32P1, yeah, 32P1 and 3S21, you can also use the dossier for this.
Okay. Next question. Could you please indicate by when MAHs are expected to have completed the verification of their product data migrated from XCV-MPD into PMS, particularly for caps and products not included in the ULCM?
There's no timeline for the verification of this data migrated to PMS. Yeah, it's a bit of a continuous exercise, because whenever you submit a new pack size, you should make sure that the product in PMS is updated. If you have a variation and you change, I don't know, you add a new indication, you should check that the product in PMS is updated. So there's no really deadline. We've never talked about the deadline for reviewing and verifying products. Also, because as you can see, we are still fixing issues that might be impacting your product. So that's why we cannot really, ask you by this date, you need to have all your products verified, all the values and all the fields. So there is no deadline for that.
Okay, so next question is, okay, so without any changes in my roles, one day I was able to see all my products and manufacture PMS. However, all of a sudden today, I cannot see many of my products and manufacturers are completely gone. Why is this happening?
That should not happen unless all your products have been moved to a different holder. That is, shouldn't happen. So, open a ticket. If you can do it, please do it to the product UI team again, not to the PMS team, because I would say this is related to the product UI. So when you open a ticket in ServiceNow, select PLM portal and product UI. They will have a look. They have access to your, if you can say, okay, this is the role that I had, this is my company, log ID, etc. They will have a look and they will be able to tell you. And they usually reply faster because we have less tickets for the UI. So I would suggest you to open a ticket for them.
So next question. For a product that is on the UCLM, we have added via XCV-MPD a separate entry for each pack size. We know this deadline has passed. We are working on the enrichment of this data manufacturer, and the deadline is June 2026. Is this correct?
Yes. So for the pack sizes in XCV-MPD, the deadline was May this year. But again, it's also a continuous exercise because packages will be approved now, tomorrow, next year. So you need to keep submitting this data. For the manufacturers and the structured pack size data in PMS, for the junior list of critical medicines, the deadline is June 2026, correct?
Okay, so we go to the next question. Okay, so still missing EV codes for some MPs. You indicated in a ticket to perform dummy updates, but they didn't fix it. And one MP had a recent XCV MPD submission. How can we do this?
So again, this is what I've explained in the at the beginning with the known issues. It depends on, so the dummy updates will not always work. And we have a team replying the tickets in ServiceNow, and we are also reviewing when these dummy updates are requested. Dummy updates will not always work. And yeah, we need to identify when it's gonna work. So, for example, if this pack size is impacted by these transferred pack sizes, you can send 1,000 dummy updates. It will not be reflected. We need to first do the data fix. If it depends on the issue. I would need to see the ticket and the product and see why this package is not reflected in PMS. If it's a transferred package, I would likely more say that you will not see it until we did a data fix, but I would need to see the ticket. Sorry.
Okay. Next question. When is the issue with critical medicine column in ATC Power BI going to be fixed? The column critical medicine is incorrect for some products. ATC codes impacting multiple routes of administrations may be showing incorrect status.
So I'll take this internally because I know they've been doing changes in this BI report, but right now I don't know the status. So I'll check with the team and see what is going on with this report. Sorry.
Okay, next question. Could you please confirm the timelines or schedule for updating the product dynamic product report, specifically for ULCM list? Additionally, can we currently rely on the product DPR to maintain the ULCM products?
I don't know what DPR is, sorry. And I think this is again related to the BI report for the ATC code. So I need to really check internally. Whenever I have something, I will try to send, maybe we can send an email to the register users in the PLM portal, because I think that is interesting. There are a couple of questions about that, but I really need to check internally. I don't have the information right now.
Okay, next question. Regarding the start date of manufacture, is this a mandatory field for legacy products, or can we leave it blank when we don't know the actual start date?
So let me check. I need to see the guidance if it's a mandatory field or not. What we've said is, in case you don't know the date for the start date, what you can do is include the date of approval of the medicinal product. This one you should know. But yeah, in principle is just conditional, but I think you need to put something. So if you don't know the date of when the manufacturer or the MBO was approved, you can put the date of approval of the medicinal product. This is what we said, and this is what is included in chapter 3.
Okay. Next question is, what shall we do dummy update or EMA ticket of incomplete transfer of pack sizes? Let's say there are 12 individual pack sizes and only 3 can be seen in PLM.
Yeah, this one sounds like a transferred one. So don't do dummy updates because it's not gonna work. Yeah, so if the authorization status in XCBMPD for those pack sizes is valid transferred, most likely it's impacted by this issue that we have with the transferred pack sizes, and the dummy update is not going to work. You shouldn't also open a ticket because it's a known issue that we are planning to fix most likely before the end of the year. Sorry, you have it here, transfer of pack sizes. So don't do dummy updates, don't do anything. In theory, it will be fixed by the end of the year. We will update the FAQ document, and I think we will also send an email notifying, hey, we have done this data fix, because there are a lot of packages impacted by this. So I think it's important that MA holders know via email that we have done this update.
Okay, so next question. Okay. So we are waiting for feedback on tickets reporting EV codes package from other companies being added to our company product NP at PMS. This was seen when we started with MBO and package size enrichment. How did this happen?
So this we need to investigate. Because I need to have a look at this. Yeah, I'll have a look at this because I have no information about this. Or at least not that I remember. So I'll come back to this one as well because I don't have the information right now.
Okay. So moving on. Manufacturers in PMS, starting date of operation is no longer mandatory.
Starting date, let me see. So it is mandatory. I'm reading chapter 3. MBO start date. For new products, you need to submit the accurate date. So the ones, the date when the manufacturer was approved. For legacy product, if the date is not known, then the same date as the initial marketing authorization date of the medicinal product can be included. So you need to provide either the correct one if you know it. If you don't know it, you can include the date when the product was authorized.
So next question. Duplicated EV codes. When talking about duplicates, are you also referring to previous EV codes? So old, outdated EV codes. In PMS, we can see previous and actual EV codes, and it is not clear which one is the previous.
Yes, we will fix this as well. So we have both issues. Duplicated EV codes, you have the same EV code twice, either in the same medicinal product or in different medicinal products. We will fix this. But also in some cases with the transfers, for some reason, the previous EV code was also included in the medicinal product. We will remove this previous EV code as well.
Okay. Next question. So why do some products show the HA in the MBO's enrichment while others do not?
So I assume the HAs is the health authority. So that depends. So for non-caps, it depends if you have included it or not. And for caps, I think all of them are automatically set to to EMA. So that is the reason, I think. There's no other reason, or unless I don't understand the question, that would be the answer, yeah.
Okay, next question. Okay, oops. I think you should be able to see it now, yes. Okay, so when initiating a variation in PLM, we start by selecting the product name. This automatically links the APIs from PMS. We notice that the API names differ compared to previous variations, where APIs had to be selected manually. Why is that?
I would say I have enough with PMS. I cannot really know everything about the variation form. So that's not a question that I can reply, sorry. Because that's for EAF. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know the answer to this.
Okay.
I would open a ticket for the AF. If they need our support, they will contact us, but this is something that I cannot really reply.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next question now. Okay, let's see. Okay, so PUI dynamic product report. Would it be possible to have filters like name, authorization, status, and other important filters available in the dynamic product section? The product name filter is very important and is missing in products of my organization.
Well, it's something that we can consider. I'm just checking because I thought we had the name on the products of my organization. But yeah, you are right. So we will need to add this in our backlog. And whenever we have the capacity and the resources to include this, we will be able to add it. Also, maybe what you can do is use other reports that will also show you the products of your organization and that you can filter by name of the product. Maybe that would be a workaround in the meantime. So for example, if you use the all packages report, there you can filter by the full name. And there you have, in this report, you have information such as the procedure type, the authorization country, the MA holder, the org ID and log ID. So that will give you the information of, okay, who is the MA holder if you need something like this. So there are other reports that you can use, maybe.
Okay. Next question. There was an update made in XCVMPD in mid-October, not yet visible in PY. What is the issue?
Yeah, that's what I said. We are reviewing the so this logic on how the data from XMPD is propagated to PMS. We are reviewing this, and maybe there is a bug that is affects your product that is not allowing these updates to come. So we might need to check what the issue is.
Okay, so moving on. Could you please confirm when the known issues incorrect organization names displayed in the PUI will be resolved? For NAPS enrichment, we're still seeing the old names, so the enrichment process is currently on hold.
Okay, then don't wait for this to be solved to continue with the enrichment. So as long as the org ID and the log ID is the correct one, don't wait, because the fact that we implement something to show the correct name or the newest name, it will not impact your enrichment. If you submit your manufacturers, whenever we do this change on the latest version of OMS, it will not have any impact on the data that you have submitted. So I would not wait, because also this known issue, so it's not PMS, it's not OMS, is how Iris is reading the data that we have in PMS and how the data is updated in OMS. This change is not easy and will take time. We have been doing an analysis. We have contacted all the stakeholders, so IRIS, consuming system from IRIS, PMS, EAF. So everybody has given the requirements on how this data should be read. And now we need to prioritize the implementation of the solution to do it. But it's not easy and might take some time. So again, and I don't have the timelines on when this is going to be done. But again, don't wait to perform your enrichment just because the name that you see is the old one. We might do individual checks. So if you have opened a ticket, at some point we will get to this ticket. And if we might do something for your specific company, Iris will do some magic, let's say, and will take the latest version from OMS, etc. But again, don't wait to submit your data because we don't know when this is going to be solved.
Okay. Next question. Pack size split. If we don't have ULCM products, is it recommended to proceed already now with the splitting of the pack sizes, or will it be better to wait till the pack size enrichment?
So that depends on the strategy of your company. I don't know how many products you have. I don't know in which countries, if they are already split it in XCVMPD or not. That depends on you. The deadline in theory is that in 2027, everything has to be splitted. that means that you still have time. Remember that everything that you send to XCVMPD should also be maintained in XCVMPD. I don't know. That depends on really the strategy. You will need to submit it at some point. If you want to do it now or mid next year or beginning of 2027, that is up to you. But just remember that at some point you will need to do it.
Okay. Next question is, we have initiated the request for PMS industry super user role for PMS API UIT. We have not received a response on the request. Can you advise how long this process will take and how does the UIT environment work with fake PMS products?
Okay. So actually, I sent an email yesterday to the person that is responsible for granting the access, and I haven't received a reply. I will follow up, but it shouldn't take a lot of time to for you to get the credentials and the information. Then what we are doing for the fake product is we are checking if your company has already products in UAT. If you don't have products, then I'm creating 50 fake products so you can play with them, you can use them to test and perform your tests. If your company has already some products in UAT, then we are not creating any fake products. But again, I will follow up with the colleague who is dealing with the granting the credentials and everything for the UAT. It shouldn't take a lot of time, so I'll check.
So next question is, latest MEDRA version is not updated in the therapeutic indication section of PLM. However, it is up to date in XCVMPD. Do we need to create dummy updates to integrate the version for all products? Please advise.
No. Don't send updates for these things. In the FAQ document, there is a question explaining what is the version in RMS, for the therapeutic indication that you see in PMS versus the one that you see in XCVMPD. So don't check this version, please, on PMS, because the one that you will see might not be the same as the one in between PMS and XCVMPD. Check this question in the FAQ document. The version that you see in PMS is the latest version when this term was updated. So, for example, you have a term in XCVMPD is version 27.1, and in RMS is 25, but it still is correct. It's because this term was updated for the last time in version 25th, like in the version number 25. It has remained the same in version 26, 27, and 27.1. That doesn't mean that the version is incorrect. So don't send updates for those things. And it's maybe better explained in this FAQ document.
Perfect. Before moving on to the next question, I just wanted to mention that we've also launched our satisfaction survey as usual. So if you move forward in the slide, you'll find a couple of questions. It's really important for us to get your feedback, especially since we have this new improved format. So we'd really like to know your feedback if you like this new format. Exactly. So it'd be really useful. So thank you for that. Okay, perfect. So moving on with the questions, we still have a few minutes left. So what happens if the medicinal products are not available in PUI prior to the submission deadlines for the products on ULMC? Data is reviewed, but resolution is very long for some tickets.
Well, obviously, you will not be able to submit your enrichment, so we understand that. Said that, my focus for Q1 next year is make sure that all the products that don't have, for example, an MA holder, and that's why you might not have access to them, will be fixed. My focus for next quarter is also to be able to remove all the duplicates and to show all the pack sizes that have been submitted to PMS. So there is no reason for any delay on enriching the products. it's a personal objective that I have. I want to, everybody to get access to their products, and we will try to work with the data quality team on this. But there might be cases maybe where, I don't know, some products might be missing or something. Then in this case, obviously they cannot be enriched. If the deadline passed, then it wouldn't, we will not be able to punish, and in a way you will still need some time to perform these updates.
Okay, next question. Are you suggesting, there we go. Okay, so are you suggesting not to open tickets for duplicate, but what about the IRIS and PLM EAF impact?
So what I'm saying is that those tickets, we are not taking them into account. So if you tell me, hey, I have this duplicate, I need you to fix it, I will tell you, I'm sorry, you need to wait for the data fix to be performed, because what we are doing, and that's the strategy that we are following, we are identifying what is the root cause of an issue. So why we are creating those duplicates. We want to make sure that we fix the root cause, so this doesn't happen anymore. And we are focusing on that rather than fixing product by product without knowing why this is happening. So unless something is really blocking a procedure, like a cap that is duplicated and it's blocking something. If NAP is duplicated, you can still use the PDF form. There are different, ways to still do your procedures. After we've done the data fixed, then we will focus on those things. If we still have duplicates, we will address them, etc. But for now, we are not gonna do anything on specific products. We want to fix everything at the same time.
Okay, so next question. Okay, is the bulk upload working correctly? We face some issues.
Well, I don't know which issues. I know that we have received maybe 3 tickets that a company was not able to see the bulk upload button. There was another company that had another issue, but not as a general thing. So yeah, if you're facing some issues, I would also ask you to open a ticket for the UI team. But we haven't seen anything like, well, something is broken or we have received a lot of tickets because something is not working.
Okay. Right, so next question. Is there any insights regarding using the PMS identifiers to report adverse events? Do MAHs need to update their safety databases?
No, not for the moment. Whenever we decommission XCMPD, then we will discuss this. But for the moment, there are no, we don't have information on this.
Okay, next question. So when do we expect the new version of the ULCM being published?
So we've been told that in December there will be a new version, but the changes are very, very minimum. So maybe there are 2 new ATC codes or something like this. So we don't expect a big change. We will let you know when this happens. We were told that in December, but I don't have the dates.
Okay, so next question. So a couple minutes left. Okay, so would control vocabulary...
So maybe before you read this, because it's too long,
Go ahead.
ECTD 4.0, I started my career with ECTD, but I'm not longer doing ECTD. So I have no idea if SPOR will be using or ECTD 4.0 will be using this. That's a question for ECTD colleagues. So I would suggest you to go and ask them.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Marcos. Okay, so if I have a bug as duplicate EV code or duplicate product in one of critical products, how do I submit the MBOs and pack sizes via POI? Understand that we have to wait for you to solve the problem.
Yeah, I would suggest you to wait. If you have a duplicate, it is better to wait because we need to decide which one is going to survive. So yeah, wait in this case.
So next question instead is, the regulator is inactive in PMS. What does this mean?
It doesn't mean anything. So if you go to the FAQ document, and that's why, so you see some of the questions that you've raised here, and you open a lot of bugs. So I'm not asking, not telling it for this specific person, but in general, you open a lot of tickets with things that are explained in the FAQ document. So I really suggest you to go to the FAQ document because there are a lot of information there. So the regulators' information, we know that some of them are wrong. What we are doing is asking the NCAs to give us the log ID of the regulator because some of them are either inactive, the ones that we have, or are incorrectly mapped. So in some cases, you will see that the regulator is missing. Also, for the German products, you will see that the regulator in some cases is the Paul Ehrlich Institute instead of BfArM. That is not a... Don't open tickets for this because we are gonna fix this. We are asking NCAs to give us the current locations and the correct ones, and we will update our mappings. But this thing is not blocking anything. You can create EAFs. IRIS is not impacted. Any procedure is impacted with this, and it's not a priority right now because we have other priorities like these duplicates and these things. So that's the only reason. The mapping that we have is not the correct one, and we will ask NCAs to give us the correct one.
Okay, perfect. Next question is, when will PMS be used for data updates? Is there any prospective date for the decommissioning of the XEV?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. We don't have a date yet when XEMPD is going to be decommissioned. EMA is working on the strategy and what's the best solution to decommission XEMPD, but there is no date for the moment. As soon as we decommission XEMPD, PMS will be used to insert products, update products, etc., but we don't have a date yet.
Okay, so I think we got time for one last question. So, do you know that PMS is not able to put together valid transfer and valid packagings? The product was transferred with one packaging with the previous code, and new valid packaging was added by the current MAH.
That sounds more like an issue with how the data is handled in XEMPD, not how PMS can handle the data. And I would need the specific case to review it because based on what I see here, still PMS should take this product or this package. So I need the specific example. With this information, I cannot really say anything.
Okay, I think that's all the time that we had for today for the clinic. So I'll leave the word to you, Marcus, to just close the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just going to reply to the next question because I was reading to it. You can submit separately the MBOs and the pack sizes. You don't really need to submit them together. So yeah, you can do different change requests and in the product UI. So I don't know how many questions are left. It's important for us that you... Okay.
Still, yeah.
So if you can give us your feedback, if you've liked this way of answering questions like as they were coming instead of the most upvoted questions, if you have other suggestions, you see that we are trying to improve the way we are having these Q&A sessions. So yeah, please fill the survey. It's very helpful for us. And I see you later in the XEMPD Q&A if you go. Otherwise, I see you next month. And for those who will be on holidays, Happy New Year already, and see you next time. Thank you.